welcome to my cooking class. Today, I might have a theme going. Yes, St. Paddy's Day is just around the corner. And so I thought what might be really handy for you, because the cost of groceries are so expensive, but you may have guests popping over for a little social or sociable. And what better way than to make a nice charcuterie board that maybe would have a little bit of epicure on it. So I'm going to start out with, of course, a dip. Now, some of you may or may not know about our host exclusive for the month, which is these mini cocottes. They are like little pots of gold. Yes, so as soon as I saw it, I thought, this is going to be so important. When you're making your charcuterie board, what you're going to want to do is set your main components around the plate first and then build it in. So that been in mind, let's get started with our first dip. And in fact, our only dip. And what I've got in my little mixer, you can use a blender or a bullet. I have a little hand mixer, and we're going to make something really healthy and fresh. Now, some of you may read the instructions on the back of our packages, and it says 3 tablespoons to mayo and sour cream. Well, clearly I'm not following instructions. As I mentioned, I've got cream cheese in here, and if it's a block of cream cheese, throw it in the microwave for a little bit just to soften it so you're not having to work so hard at this. Now I want to thin it out a bit. I don't have any sour cream in the house, but if you happen to have cottage cheese, why not? This will thin it out a tad, and of course it's good for you. So we'll just set that aside. We're going to add some of our spices, and because I want to have a green theme, I'm thinking I'm going to be doing a spinach dip. I hope you love spinach, it's good for you. So here we go, lemon dilly. We're going to grab our 4-in-1 spoon, and I'm going to put a heaping teaspoon in there. I want some flavor, especially because we're going to be putting veg on here. Next, to enhance it a little bit more, I'm going to put our 3 onion. And if you're not familiar with our 3 onion, oh, you certainly should be. This is a pantry staple. What I love about it is Home Office is actually chopped all the onions for you, so you're not crying. It just makes it super, super easy. So I'm gonna dig my 3-in-1 spoon again, or 4-in-1, I should say. And I'm gonna add about 1.5 teaspoons. Now you can flavor this as you want. Remember, always good to spice up than to have to spice down. Like, how many jars of dip are you really going to need? Okay, so it's already sort of looking a little green. If you grab your spinach, fresh spinach, you could use frozen if you do use frozen. And just so you know, little food tip, if I have spinach that's going, I'm not able to use because I'm traveling, or I'm thinking it's getting a little, maybe not so good for a salad, I freeze it. I just put it in a bag, take out as much air as I can, label it, and throw it in my freezer, because this is a perfect opportunity to use it and it's not got all that extra liquid on it. If you are using frozen, you're gonna thaw it and you're gonna drain it as best you can, because you don't want it diluting too much. So we're just gonna shove a few handfuls of spinach in here. This is gonna add the color, but it's also gonna make it really healthy for you. Okay, so I've tucked that in. Get your blender going. And let's just whip this up. I will say, if you find that your mixer's really struggling or your blender's struggling to get through this, feel free to add a little bit of liquid. You could add some milk or mayo, just anything so it doesn't wreck your mixer and becomes the consistency that you want for maybe doing our dips. So let's get it whipped. you go. I have a lovely mix. So now all I need to do is put it in my cocotte. So what additional items are we going to put on? Well, I want to introduce you to our rectangular steamer. I love this because the season is here for asparagus. Oh my gosh, I love asparagus. And we need to prep this. The way that you're gonna do this is you're just gonna snap off the ends. The reason you're doing this is the end pieces tend to be very woody, fibrous, stuck in your teeth, not very appealing to eat. And so if you just grab the end, naturally it's going to break where it's tender and not woody. Okay, so rectangular steamer, we're throwing our asparagus in. You're only going to need a few, so put the others away. They're always, almost always sold in bunches, and they're usually stood upright in water. So when you're buying them, look for ones that have very firm tips at the top that aren't mushy, and take a look at the bottom. Are they dried out, fibrous, haven't been taken care of, or not? So get your money's worth. We've just got a few in here. This is not going to take any time whatsoever. So we just want to cook them sort of like that al dente kind of texture. It's probably only going to take you, for this amount, maybe a minute. So that's what I would recommend. Check. I sort of like mine having so they're tender but still have a little bit of a crunch. We definitely don't want mush. So try it for, I don't know how strong your microwave is. You might want to try it for 45 seconds. Check it. If it needs a little bit more, add more. Okay, so I have taken this out of the microwave. It took 45 seconds. I believe that they're done perfectly. What I love about them is they're still firm but not soggy. They're not, you know, losing their form. How you do this is, it took me 45 seconds in the microwave, then run it under cold water. This will prevent your asparagus from continuing to cook. We don't want overcooked asparagus. We want to still have that crunch. I then have cut them into uniform sizes, and we're just going to tuck them in. I'm just going to set them aside for the moment. So some of the ingredients that I'm going to be adding to the platter is, of course, you saw when I was pulling him up, we've got sort of a green and gold theme, right? St. Paddy's Day, luck of the Irish, gold colors. So I thought, why not get, for our family, for breakfast, a cantaloupe. And I've basically cut it and I've taken out the seeds, and I see I clearly have to move this. And because these are larger pieces, these are great to anchor your board. So let's grab our asparagus. We're going to start tucking things in. Green and gold, and you may notice that they're fuzzy. Just so you know, you can eat the outsides. Some people are adverse to eating actually the outside, but you can. So if you want to make it a little bit more attractive, what you may want to do, and it's what I did, is I sort of just scrape off the extra fuzz. So just take a nice, you know, paring knife and sort of clean that off. So they're sort of bald. Give it a shave, okay? And then I've just maybe put some grooves in here just for interest. So we'll put a few of those kicking around. You can put them at little angles. I came across these, and these were interesting. It said crispy, crunchy kumquats. And so I bought them. I'm totally out of curiosity. Aren't they cute? They are, I've washed them. Like little melons. Super, super tasty. Sweet as can be. Totally adding these on. Never seen them before, but they're going on my tray. So when it comes to cucumber, I'm a big fan of the English cucumbers. So if you can grab one of these, great. Now, I've got a lot going on this tray already, and it's up to you, but because I'm thinking St. Paddy's Day is about coins, maybe you want to cut these into slices. If you want and you have a mandolin, by all means do that. But this is a great filler and very inexpensive. So if you have a shooter cup, yeah, I don't have any of those around, do I? Yeah, I do. Okay, so you can make it in a shooter cup. To make sure that it plates well, you're gonna wanna cut off the end, and then you're going to tuck it in somewhere where it's not gonna really fall apart, but add some interest. If you would sooner have strips, by all means do that as well, but make sure that they're a size that people can manage with bites. So sticks, I guess we'll call them. And some people will want to have the seeds taken out because it can make your board very watery. So if that's you, I usually just take my knife and cut out the seeds. That'll make it a little bit less watery on your tray and a little bit more appealing for your guests. So we can stick this on here as well. All right, so other fillers that I'm going to be putting on, I have to tell you about this. I love, of course, our Poco Picante salsa. So go to the store and get some mangoes, actually just one. Make sure that it's juicy. It's important because you need the liquid to reconstitute it. We need crackers as well. And I will tell you, I mean, I did talk about taking the seeds out of your cucumber. And one of the reasons that you're gonna wanna do that is, of course, all this product is very, very moist, right? It's natural juices. So it's going to really depend on where you put your crackers so that they don't get soggy. Nothing worse than soggy crackers. So you can do one of two things. Placement for sure, but if you wanted, you know, grab a little dish and maybe set them in a dish. I'm going to put mine, of course, I've got the outsides of the cantaloupe and my asparagus, which is dried right off. So now would be a good time for maybe just placing some crackers. I'm using some Good Thins, which are gluten-free. They're nice little bite size, and we need this because we've got our dip over here, which is another good placement for your crackers, is get some crackers over by your dip. How about some grapes, green grapes that are washed? To have your scissors handy because you want to have them not being great big huge chunks, but little stems. Another thing you can do is snap peas. So how I do these, because they will come like this, okay? They are not open. And a little tricky, but worth the effort because I think it looks really cute. But if you take your paring knife and gently just go up the front of it, just like that, and then open it up a little bit, you are going to have pea pods that you can sort of tuck inside here. And I think that really screams spring as well. So what else can you put in here? Well, we do have to have the luck of the Irish and to find some coins. I mean, you have to have chocolate in here somewhere, right? So just sort of tuck some chocolate nuggets in here, 2 or 3 placements. Another nice thing that you may want to do, pistachios, for putting in little places that maybe you see some holes. I like the fact that because they're still in their shell, they're not going to get soggy as well. So great little fillers that you can just sort of tuck inside. So there you go, folks. So there's the start of my charcuterie board. Oops. What do you think? Doesn't this just scream St. Paddy's Day? Thanks for watching, everyone.